Well, dear students, in our previous class, we had discussed the questions about locomotion movement, continuation of the same, going on to the expert level in class exercise. The first question here, the activities of visceral muscles are not under the voluntary control of the nervous system and they are therefore known as they are the activities of the visceral muscles are not under the voluntary control of the nervous system and therefore they are known as non-striated muscles, smooth muscles, involuntary muscles. Fine. Smooth muscles also same, non-striated also same, involuntary also same. So thereby the answer is fine, all of the above. Clear? Voluntary, they are not under the nervous system, that's why they are involuntary. Smooth also same, non-striated because they don't have any striations, all of these. Next, read the following statements. Read the following statements regarding muscle protein. After that, fine, we have to find out the question of the above, which are the regarding muscle protein. The first is actin is a thin filament. Actin is a thin filament and is made up of 2 F-actin proteins. It's a correct statement. Fine. Next one. Complex protein tropomyosin is distributed at regular intervals on the troponin. Wrong statement. If you see the structure, you will come to know. Myosin is a thick filament. When actin we say thin filament, myosin should be thick filament, which is also polymerized protein. This is also correct statement. Next, globular head of the meromycin consists of light meromycin, that is known as LMM. Fine. Wrong statement. So of the above statement, clear, we have to find out the correct statements here. Then here 1 and 3 are correct. Actin is a thin filament, myosin is a thick filament. 1 or 3 are correct. Thereby the option 3, 1 and 3 are correct is the perfect answer. Next one, about skeletal system. Questions are about skeletal system. Part of the skull having cranium, olfactory refers to smell, olfactory capsule, and optic capsule. Optic refers to vision, about eyes. You might have studied in physics also. Optics about lenses. So part of the skull having cranium is nothing but the bone. Fine. The skull, what we call olfactory capsules and optic capsules, is known as, fine, is known as cranium. No. Neurocranium, fine, correct. Dermocranium, spalancocranium, fine. Neurocranium, correct, because fine, this is controlled by nerves. Olfactory muscles and optic muscles are controlled. Neurocranium, because it includes the cranium also. Fine. Cranium only refers to skull. Dermo refers to skin here. Spalancro refers to brain here. So which is, next question, which is present in the pectoral girdle? He is asking, in the pectoral girdle, clear, what is present, he is asking. Which is pectoral girdle? Pectoral girdle is nothing but shoulder bone. Remember, pelvic girdle is hip bone, whereas pectoral girdle refers to shoulder bone. There we come across, fine, 1 glenoid cavity, correct, sternum, 3rd ilium, and 4 acetabulum. Acetabulum is the cavity of the pelvic girdle. Sternum is the joining bone that joins the rib cage, 2 sides of the ribs, fine, also known as breastbone. Clear. Ilium is a part of the, fine, part of the pelvic girdle, because pelvic girdle is made up of 3 bones: ilium, ischium, and pubis. I have told you during explanation. So here the cavity of the pectoral girdle, shoulder bone, is known as glenoid cavity. What is known as glenoid cavity? Clear. Next, read the following statements, 1 to 4 statements, and select the one option that contains both correct statements. Both the correct statements. Let's find out the statements over here. As the statement reads here, first statement, Z line is present in the center of the light band. Z line is present in the center of the light band, correct? They are known as Z lines. Fine. Thin filament are firmly attached to the M line. No, they are not firmly attached. Wrong statement. Then the central part of the thick filament not overlapped by thin filament is called Z band. This is also wrong. Fourth statement, light band contains only thin filament, correct? So Z lines is present in the center of the light band, correct statement. Later, light band contains only thin filament also. Correct statement. Thereby, option 2, 1 and 4th statement are correct. Next question. Acronym process. Acronym process. Fine. Processes we have discussed. Acronym process is a part of 1. Vertebral column, 2. Pelvic girdle, 3. Femur, pectoral girdle. 4th is pectoral girdle, where the shoulder bone, clavicle bone comes and joins. Fine. They form a typical structure, and that complex process is what is known as acromion process. So thereby we can call it as pectoral girdle. Vertebral column, we find the vertebrae, 33 vertebrae. Pelvic girdle, just now I told you, hip bone. Femur, you all very well know, is the longest bone of the human body. So pectoral girdle, fine, where we come across acromion process. Next, part of the body having a single pair of bones. Part of the body having a single pair of bone is, fine, clear, pelvic girdle, external ear, wrist, fine, lower jaw. Fine. What he is asking, single pair means, fine, 2, clear. So wrist, we have 8 bones, wrist bones, fine, clear. External ear, we have 3 bones there. Lower jaw, fine, only 1, so it cannot be pair. So the option here is, the answer here is pelvic girdle. It has single pair of bones like ischium and ilium and pubis, in which we come across 1 pair of bones. So this is known as pelvic girdle, first option. Next one, scapula is large triangular flat bone situated in the dorsal part of the thorax between, what he is asking, scapula. What is scapula? Clear. What we call scapula here? Scapula is known as nothing but the bone of the shoulder bone. Bone of the shoulder bone is what is known as scapula. I told you, like, almost like a triangular shape. I have shown you the bone also during explanation. So where it is found present, he is asking, in between 3rd and 8th rib, between 2nd and 7th rib, between 4th and 7th rib, between 2nd and 5th rib. So the scapula, find in the thorax region, thorax cavity, it is found present between the 2nd and the 7th rib, 2nd and the 7th rib, shoulder bone. Clear? You can also touch and feel. Next question, in mammals, the lower jaw is also called, in mammals, lower jaw is also called, fine, 1 maxilla, B dentary, fine, 3 mandible, 4 ethmoid. Ethmoid is a bone, clear, in a skull. So dentary is nothing but the dentition, fine. Maxilla is upper jaw, whereas mandible is known as the lower jaw. Therefore answer 3, mandible is the answer. Next questions are followed on the muscular system. Clear. Ischium is a part of, just now I told you, it's a part of pelvic girdle bone. Ischium, ilium and pubis, they are the 3 bones as a part of pelvic girdle. That's nothing but hip bone. Next, mark the incorrect statement in the following. The statement which is wrong, you have to mark. First statement, ciliary movement help in passage of ova through female reproductive system. Of course, correct. There we come across ciliated epithelial tissue having ciliary structures. They help in the smooth passage of the smooth passage of the ovum in the fallopian tube. We have told this point in 7th chapter also. Fine. Clear? That's the correct statement. Second statement, all movements lead to locomotion. It may not be. Clear? Third statement, in paramecium, the cilia help in movement of food through cytopharynx and locomotion as well. Of course, very much correct. Paramecium shows ciliary movement because the paramecium, the whole body is covered by cilia and they beat rhythmically. So it helps in movement also, and the movement of the food into the cytopharynx. Fine. And also helps in locomotion. Clear? Next one. Microfilaments are involved in amoeboid movement. Of course, correct. Fine. In the amoeboid movement, microfilaments are involved because of the movement of the microfilaments and proteins. Cells show amoeboid movement like macrophages and other cells. So here the option which is wrong is all movements lead to locomotion is wrong, because in our body, now I am talking, the tongue is moving, clear, the lips are moving, so they are not as movements, but they don't lead to locomotion. We turn our head, there is a movement of the head, we move our fingers, so it's a movement, but all these movements does not lead to locomotion. So that's a wrong statement and the correct answer. Next one, which statement about the structure of the skeletal muscle is true? The structure of the skeletal muscle is true. When light band of the sarcomere or the regions where actin and myosin filaments overlap, no, wrong statement, because in skeletal muscles it don't happen like that. When a muscle contracts, the A band of the sarcomere shorten, rather it expands. So that's also the Statement is not true. Third statement, when muscles contract, the H bands of the sarcomere shorten. The H band of the sarcomere shorten. So this is the correct statement. Third statement is the correct as far as this question is concerned. So moving on to next question. Fine, clear. In the rest state, a subunit of troponin is a protein which covers, masks means which covers. What is asking? In the rest state, when the muscles are in rest, for example your hand is in rest, the subunit of troponin covers what he is asking. So option A, active binding site for the actin and myosin filaments. No. Active binding site for myosin on the actin filament is correct. Fine. So active binding site for myosin on the myosin filament wrong. Actin binding site on the actin for actin is wrong. So the statement here is active binding site for myosin protein on the actin filament. The second statement is correct. When our muscles are under rest, this will be happening in our body, in our muscles. So that statement is correct. Next one, mark the feature which is not associated. Mark the feature which is not associated with white muscle fibers. White muscle fibers. They are lighter in color. That's why they are not white muscle fibers. It's a correct statement about that. Then the muscles have a fast rate of contraction but for a short period of time. Of course, very much true. Light muscles. This statement is also true as far as white muscles are concerned. Third statement, less sarcoplasmic reticulum compared to red muscle fibers. In fact, in white muscle fibers, we come across more of sarcoplasmic reticulum. Why it is known as sarcoplasmic reticulum? Because I told you the cytoplasm of the muscle is known as sarcoplasm and the cell membrane is known as sarcolemma. So here endoplasmic reticulum is also referred as sarcoplasmic reticulum, whereas in case of white muscle fibers you come across more amount of sarcoplasmic reticulum, but in this statement he says less sarcoplasmic reticulum. This is the wrong statement as far as the white muscles are concerned. Next statement, they depend mainly on glycolysis for energy production. Of course, very much true, and they soon get fatigue. Fine, because lactic acid deposition takes place, so they suffer fatigue. Fine, so this is the correct statement about that also. Next, read the following statement. Find out the incorrect statement. Find out the incorrect statement. Sliding filamentous theory. Sliding filamentous theory states that contraction of muscle fiber takes place by the sliding of the thick filament over thin filament. Absolutely wrong. Logical, it is also illogical. Thick filament don't move on the thin filament, whereas vice versa occurs. That is nothing but thin filament moves or slides over the thick filament. So this statement is also wrong. Next, muscle contraction is initiated by a signal sent by the CNS via sensory neuron, not by the signal sent by the central nervous system. Muscle contraction starts from the motor nerves. Next, that's also wrong statement. A motor neuron along with the muscle fiber connected to it constitute a motor end plate. This is also wrong statement. Thereby all statements are wrong. So all of the above are incorrect statement, not true statements. Moving on to next question. Identify the correct statement. Identify the correct statement. Head of the humerus. Humerus is a bone of the hand. Fine, from shoulder to elbow. Humerus. Head of the humerus bone articulates with the glenoid cavity of pelvic girdle. Glenoid cavity is correct because humerus, glenoid cavity you come across in pectoral girdles, shoulder bone. But he says here pelvic girdle. Pelvic girdle is nothing but the hip bone. So there is no way that the hand bone is fusing with the hip bone. So here, if it is a pectoral girdle, then this statement is correct. So this is wrong statement. Next one. Head of the humerus bone articulates with the glenoid cavity of correct and of the pectoral girdle. This is the correct statement so far. Next, C. Head of the humerus bone articulates with the cavity of the acetabulum, because acetabulum is a cavity of pelvic girdle. No way it connected to that. Head of the humerus bone articulates with the acetabulum of the pectoral girdle. Absolutely wrong. Humerus is a hand bone. From hand bone it forms glenoid cavity is the cavity of pectoral girdle and it fuses with the pectoral girdle. Pectoral girdle is nothing but the shoulder bone. This is the correct statement. Next one. Next question. Completely involuntary unstriated muscles occur in base of the pinna. No. Abdomen. Fine. Abdomen. Next question. Next option. Whereas moving on to next options. Fine. What is the question here? Completely involuntary muscles. Involuntary unstriated muscles. So involuntary unstriated means smooth muscles is asking. Fine. So where the third option is again eyelids and the fourth option is known as pylorus. You all very well know pylorus is nothing but the part of the stomach, last part of the stomach where the stomach ends, and pyloric sphincter muscles you come across, and that leads to small intestine. So here we come across smooth muscles in the pylorus. Fine. So this is the correct statement. Next one. What are correct about synovial joint? What is correct about synovial joint? The question, fine. One is ball socket joint. In between this ball and socket, you come across the presence of synovial fluid. Correct statement. Pivot joint is also very much required in the neck region. Pivot joint also, and in the leg. So here also you come across synovial fluid. So what is synovial joint? Where you come across in between the joints, in between those two bones, if you come across the presence of synovial fluid, such a joint is known as synovial joint. Here also we come across ball socket joint, there will be presence of synovial fluid. Pivotal joint, there will be presence of synovial fluid. Hinge joint, here also like elbow, here also you come across synovial fluid. So all these three are correct. Whereas cartilaginous joint, this joint itself says cartilaginous joint. So here two bones are interconnected to each other with the help of presence of cartilage, hence it is known as cartilaginous joint. So here synovial joint is present in ball socket joint, pivot joint, and as well as hinge joint. Thereby the option 2 that says 1, 2 and 3 are correct is the correct answer. Next question, number of mitochondria less. Fine, one statement. Number of mitochondria is less, clear. Then number of mitochondria more, second statement. Third statement, fine. Sarcoplasmic reticulum is abundant. Fourth statement, myoglobin content is high. Fifth statement, sarcoplasmic reticulum is moderate. Moderate means medium amount, neither high nor less. Aerobic muscles, fine, depend on the anaerobic respiration of energy for energy. Less myoglobin content. A, he says red muscle. B, he says white muscles. Now you have to match which statement is correct for which muscles, either for red muscle or for white muscles. Now here let's see. A, he says first number of mitochondria is less, which is wrong. No, it's not, it won't be. Fine. So A, so that's wrong there. A1 he says again, fine, that's also wrong. Third option he says A2. So red muscles, number of mitochondria is more, correct statement. Then about A, fine, he says again fourth statement, that is myoglobin content is high, of course very much correct. That's why they are known as red muscles, globin, clear. Next one, A1, A4 correct. Then let's talk about fifth statement about red muscles, that is sarcoplasmic reticulum is moderate, correct statement about that. Red muscles A. And the sixth statement and what he says is fine, aerobic muscles, of course very much correct. So A, 2, 4, 5, 6 statements belong to the A. And also the seventh statement, that is less myoglobin content, clear. This won't be there, fine. Seventh statement, less myoglobin content, because we have told myoglobin content is high here already. So we'll talk about that. So fine, next one. Next option, B1, that is what is that? Number of mitochondria is less, of course correct. Fine. Then 3, what is that? Sarcoplasmic reticulum is abundant, about white muscles, correct. Fourth statement, fine, fourth statement, myoglobin content is high, clear. So there here again sixth statement, fine. Sixth statement is nothing but aerobic muscle, that's also correct statement. So here, fine, either fourth is not there or seventh is not there. We can remove seventh over here. 2, 4, 5, 6 here. 1, 3, 4 and 6 statements are correct. Thereby option A. Option 3, fine, is correct. Next one. Sarcomere is the structural and functional unit of myofibrils and area between, what he's asking. A, fine, I to I band, no. Z to Z band, I to Z band, A to I band. Sarcomere is a structural and functional unit of muscles which is found present between Z to Z band. Z to Z band. You can study our refer our study material also. We have mentioned, we have shown, we have told sarcomere, the structural unit. Next question, which muscle is immune to fatigue? Immune to fatigue means it is prone to, subjected to, or sensitive to fatigue. Fatigue means it undergoes tiredness, fine, stress it feels. So which are those muscles? You all very well know. Striated muscles, we call them, sometimes we call them as striped muscles also. So option A is correct. Cardiac muscles, they never show fatigue. Involuntary muscles, they never show fatigue. Unstriped means smooth muscles, clear. Involuntary, striated muscles which are found present in hands and legs. Which of the following statement is false? Clavicle is a long S-shaped bone with 4 curvatures. No, clavicle is just a small collarbone like this. fine, somewhat like this, collarbone like this, clavicle. So this is the wrong statement. So far, let's see. Below acromion process is glenoid cavity, correct? Fine. Each clavier, that is collarbone, articulates with acromion process, which shoulder bone, correct. Scapula has a spine which projects as acromion process, also correct. So clavicle is a long S-shaped bone, is wrong statement. It's a very short S-shaped is correct, but not long, short bone. Fine. Collarbone we have shown in the during explanation. So that's the statement. Option A is the wrong statement. Next, read the following statements and find out the incorrect statement. Find out the incorrect statement. Hyoid is present. Hyoid bone. What is hyoid bone? Fine. Which is found present below the buccal cavity. He says hyoid bone is found at the roof of the buccal cavity. Wrong statement. Clear? Wrong statement because it is present below the buccal cavity. Next, the skull region articulates with the superior region of the vertebral column with the help of two occipital condyles. Of course, very much correct. It is fused, it is connected with the help of occipital condyles. Fine, they are the bones we have shown you in the skull. So correct statement. Then the third statement, what he says here is clear. The third statement, first vertebra is the axis which articulates clear with the occipital condyle. No, wrong statement. Fine. Then fourth statement, he says again, sternum is a flat bone in cranium. Of course, wrong. Sternum is found present in the thoracic region. It's a bone that connects two ribs. Fine. So it is not present in the cranium. False statement. So far we have come across first statement, third statement, and fourth statement are wrong. The second statement, that is nothing but the skull region articulates with the superior region of the condyle. That's the correct statement. So option 3 is the answer here, which says 1, 3 and 4 statements are false, wrong. Moving on to next question. Number of vertebrae present on cervical. How much? 7. Thoracic 12. Lumbar 5. Sacral 1. Coccyx region 1 respectively. So the formula is 7, 2, 5, 1, 1. So that's the formula. You all very well know. I have explained it. So option 4 is the correct answer. In the cervical region, the cervical vertebrae are nothing but 7. In the neck region, 12. Thoracic in the chest cavity, 5. Lumbar in the abdominal cavity, sacral in the pelvic region and around the pelvic region 1. Fine. 7, 12, 5, 1, 1. Clear? Next, lumbar vertebrae are found in, just now we told you, lumbar are found in abdominal region, stomach region. So option 2 is the correct answer. Next question, which of the following options is incorrect? A. Hinge joint between humerus and pectoral girdle, correct statement. Gliding joint between the carpals, correct statement. Pivot joint between atlas axis and occipital condyle. Pivot joint we come across in leg, whereas this bone atlas axis we come across in the neck region, the first bones occipital condyle. So pivot joint is wrong statement there. So option 3 incorrect statement. Next question, joint of the femur with pelvic girdle is what type of joint is asking? Femur with the pelvic girdle. Femur has a ball-like structure. Pelvic girdle has a socket-like structure on an acetabulum. So classical example of ball and socket joint. No doubt in that. You all very well know. Next question, joints. Our next questions are about joints. An example of gliding joint. Example of gliding joint. Fine. Humerus and glenoid cavity. Fine. It's not an example of gliding joint. Femur and tibiofibula. Occipital condyle and adenoid. Zygophysis of adjacent vertebrae. Gliding, they glide on one another when we bend our body. Clear? When we bring our head down, when we bend. Fine. So each joint, each vertebra adjacent to each other in a vertebral column. Fine. So zygophysis of vertebra, of adjacent vertebrae is the correct answer. Next, which of the following statement is incorrect? Is correct. Which of the following statement is correct? Clear. So synovial joint are characterized by synovial cavity with fluid between the articulate surface of the two bones. Of course, very much correct. I told you synovial joints are formed due to the presence of synovial fluid. Correct statement. Synovial joints are freely movable. Of course, very much correct, because there is a fluid in between that which acts as a lubricative. So there will be free movement and frequently movement also. Where we move frequently, such joints are made up of synovial joints. Correct statement. Ball and socket, hinge joint, gliding joint, pivot joint and saddle joints are the type of synovial joints. Very much correct. So all these statements are absolutely correct about synovial joints. So the answer is all of the above. Moving on to next questions. Clear? Next, the reaction which change lactic acid. Oh, I have to more little more. The reaction that changes lactic acid into glycogen come under A. Kelvin cycle, B. Krebs cycle, C. Cori cycle, D. glycolysis. The reaction wherein lactic acid is converted to glycogen is Cori cycle. Cori cycle, clear, which takes place in muscles. Next questions are on disorders of the muscular and skeletal system. So we will be completing the last topic of this chapter, disorders. Based on disorders, which of the following is not a disorder of the bone? A. Arteriosclerosis. Arteriosclerosis is the correct pronunciation. Right, find out. Arteriosclerosis. It is the disorder of the heart, not about the bones. Osteoporosis, bones porosis, where it's becoming powdery as weak. Fine. Osteoporosis. Rickets, because of lack of vitamin D. Arthritis, of course, basically it is considered as the disorder of the joints, but joints are involved with nothing but bones, so that's also the disorder of bone. So arteriosclerosis is not the disorder of the bones. That's why option 1 is the correct answer there. Next, gout that leads to arthritis is known as gouty arthritis. I have told you, is associated with abnormality of what he is asking. Fine, clear. Pyrimidine metabolism, no. Fat metabolism, purine metabolism, protein metabolism. Gout takes place due to the accumulation of uric acid when perfect metabolism of purine amino acid is not taken place. That leads to deposition of uric acid in the bones, that leads to gout, and because of that arthritis takes place, that is known as gouty arthritis. During explanation I have told you this occurs more in case of males, whereas rheumatoid arthritis takes place more in case of females. So due to improper purine metabolism, purine, remember nucleic acids, fine, we come across purines, fine, pyrimidines, okay, ATGC, now you got it, fine, okay. Next, progressive degeneration continuously happening. Progressive degeneration, both are opposite words, fine. It's like constructive destruction, fine, clear, or destructive construction, understand? So like that. So progressive, continuously what's happening? Degeneration is happening. Remember, progressive degeneration of skeletal muscle, mostly due to genetic disorder, occur in mastia gravis. That's the disorder of muscles. It won't. Arthritis, just now we spoke about that. Muscular dystrophy, muscular degeneration. Remember the word degeneration, dystrophy, same meaning, fine, clear, undergoing degeneration. So thereby answer muscular dystrophy, degeneration, dystrophy, generation, regeneration, atrophy, clear. Try to understand the terminology. Without terminology, biology is nothing but birdology. So terminology is very important. Next, select the correct statement regarding the specific disorder of muscular or skeletal system. Muscular or skeletal system. Muscular dystrophy, age-related shortening muscles, no. Mastia gravis, autoimmune disorder, no. Osteoporosis, decrease in bone mass and higher chance of fracture with advancing age. When age increases, people becoming weak, their bones become weak, bones become shortened also. Due to small damage also, bones are subjected to fractures. So that's nothing but osteoporosis. Next question, select the correct statement regarding the specific disorder of muscular or skeletal system. Clear, fine. So just now we spoke about osteoporosis. Now masthenia gravis, autoimmune disorder which inhibits sliding of the myosin filament is correct. That's why it is known as masthenia gravis. So option 1 is correct about the masthenia gravis. Second option, gout, inflammation of joints due to extra deposition of calcium, he says, which is wrong. Due to uric acid deposition, gout occurs. Next one, muscular dystrophy, age-related shortening of muscles. No, clear. Next one, osteoporosis, decrease in bone mass and higher chance of fracture. Clear. So this also option 1 is correct. So here we complete these questions on this. We'll try to focus on other type of questions most probably in the next class. Keep studying. God bless you. Good luck and take care. If you have any doubts, contact me on my WhatsApp number 9591367806. Clear. And do subscribe my YouTube channel. Take care. God bless you all.